You are watching the third part of the presentation that describes the data collection and data entry for the PPS of healthcare-associated infections and antimicrobial use. We will now show you data entry into HelixWinNet. We therefore advise you to print out the examples of Form H, hospital data, Form A, patient data, and perhaps also an example of the ward list. When you will be doing data entry, you will normally have one Form H per participating site and one Form A per eligible patient. If your hospital has several sites but you will not collect data for each site separately, you will only have one Form H. The definition of an eligible patient is described in the protocol, but we would like to repeat that a patient does not need to be taking antimicrobials or have an active HAI to have a Form A filled in. All patients will have the left side of the patient form filled in, and those that are taking either antimicrobials or have an active HAI will also have the right side of the form filled in. To start data entry, click on the HelixWin shortcut that's on your desktop. Press Continue. The first thing you will need to do is press the yellow cross sign. This is to make a new data entry. On this screen you will have to define for which hospitals you will do data entry. Take the Form H and copy the hospital code into the first field. This is the TTP code. In the second field, normally you would fill in the name of this site. However, in Belgium we will not fill in the real name of the hospital to provide guarantee of anonymity. Please fill in the letters TTP followed by the numbers of your TTP code. In our case, since the TTP code is 123, this makes for the name of the hospital to be TTP space 123. The next field is the password. In the current version of HelixWinNet, only one password is possible, and this is the word Helix. Type this word in small letters into the password field. Do not select anything under language. Press Save and press Login. If you are a hospital of multiple sites, you will have the option to do data collection per site or collect all the data under the name of the merger. Although we strongly advise you to do data collection per site, data collection per merger is allowed. In case you're doing data collection per merger, put all the different TTP codes next to each other, leaving no spaces. For instance, this means that if you have hospital codes 123 and 124, you will actually fill in the hospital form with the code 123124. You can now see the main screen. The first thing that we would like to show you is how to add another site in case you are a hospital with multiple sites but are doing data entry based on site. Press the button Hospitals. Again, press the yellow sign. Fill in a new hospital TTP code. Again, type in the same type of name. Again, type in the password Helix. Press Save and press Login. If you are doing the data entry for multiple sites, it's very important to always check which TTP code is written on the top of the main screen. We will do the data entry for the Form H, hospital data, of site 125. Select site 125, type in the word Helix, press Save and press Login. To do the data entry for Form H, press the button Hospital Data and press the yellow sign to begin. In our case, we will do data collection between the 8th of August and the 20th of August, as is written on the Form H. The next fields will be copied from the corresponding fields on Form H. As you can see, we've already filled in certain corresponding fields from Form H. Take your time to compare what we filled in and what you've printed out on the example of Form H. The number of full-time equivalent of infection staff is also just copying the number on Form H, but we would like to remind you that you should only use commas for decimals and not dots. 1.8 should be coded as 1,8 and 2.5 should be coded as 2,5. We are doing data entry for only site 125 and we'll do site 124 and 123 separately. So we mark single hospital here, and when we do the Form H of site 124, we will also mark single hospital. If you would do data collection at the merger level, using TTP code 123124, you would mark a hospital trust or merger. The last field that will be filled in is that you use the standard protocol. As was mentioned earlier, we ask you not to use the comments field, but to contact us by email if you have any comments or remarks. We've now finished data entry for Form H, hospital data, and we'll continue with Form A, patient data. Simply click Save and exit the form. Form A, patient data, is filled in across 3 different fields in HelixWinNet: ward definitions, wards PPS data and denominator data, and patient antimicrobial use and HAI data. We will look at these screens one by one. Under the button Ward Definitions, you only need to list what wards exist in this site. To do this, theoretically you could go through all your patient data forms, but this would be very work intensive. So we advise you to use the list of wards that we prepared earlier. Press the yellow cross. Type in the first code that you yourself assigned to the first ward. This is, in our case, ICU 1, and the full name of the ward is ICU Medical. Press Save, and press the yellow sign to do the next ward. In our case, this is ICU 2, and the full name is ICU Surgical. Press Save. If you're doing more wards, continue the steps by starting, pressing the yellow sign, and finishing by pressing Save. After the last ward is encoded, press Close. Now open the screen Wards, PPS date and denominator data. Again, start by pressing the yellow cross. Here you will fill in for every ward what the code from the codebook is, in other words, the third column on the ward list, and the day on which data collection was done. You can select from the wards that you encoded in the last step. The ward specialty that can be found in the codebook is Medical ICU, and the survey date in our example is the 8th of August. The rest of these fields will not be filled in. In other words, the total number of patients in the ward should be left blank, just like all the other questions. Press Save and press the yellow sign to do the next ward. Again, select the correct code, fill in a survey date, press Save, and after the last ward is coded, press Close. Please make sure that you finish every ward with pressing Save and start every ward by pressing the yellow sign.